had to take a break for a little bit. I know I haven't been uploading, I haven't been as active on Instagram, but I'm hoping to get back in the swing of things. I just needed to take a little break. We had some personal things going on. I was in a reading slump for sure. I don't even remember the last books that I told you guys about. But August, I think I only ended up reading 6 books, maybe 7, but I think it was 6. I did end up finishing The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. I think I gave it 4 stars. I really did enjoy it. Honestly, right now I can't, because so much has happened since then. I can't think of what my actual thoughts were about it. But I remember enjoying it. I enjoyed the twist. There was that moment where I thought we were done and then we weren't. So yeah, that was very enjoyable for me. And in September, towards the end of the month, I didn't read anything pretty much. Like, I listened to a little bit of Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, but I mean, maybe 30 minutes altogether throughout the whole month. So for me, I didn't really start reading until the end of the month. I did manage to read 2 books. I'm a Fan by, I believe, Sheena Patel, and The Night Guest. And I cannot remember who The Night Guest is by. I know it was a translated work. I will, of course, always have the title on screen so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. But they were actually both decent books. I gave them both 3 stars. The Night Guest I found very interesting. For me, the reason why it ended up only being 3 stars was because it just, and I get it, it's a novella, you know, it's a short story. So I don't know, I just felt like the pacing was actually really good. I really did enjoy the book, but there wasn't enough of the story, I guess, or I don't know, the ending just wasn't enough. Like, I don't know how else to explain that. Also, there is some animal abuse and animal killings in this. I saw somebody talking about this and they said cat harm. No, it's more than that. She's killing cats, okay? Spoiler alert, she's killing cats. Like, I wish somebody would have told me that, because I'm just thinking the whole time that she's like hurting them or maybe abusing them. No, she is killing them. So if you do not want to read about a cat killer, then don't read this book. But it is a very interesting premise. She's basically having trouble sleeping, and she ends up getting like a Fitbit style watch, that, you know, the ones that track your steps. And one night she sees that she has walked 45,000 steps, I think, in her sleep. Needless to say, some very weird things happen, and it does like more and more get very strange. I don't quite understand, like, the ending. Not that I don't understand the ending, I got the ending, but I don't understand in the end how we get there, because I don't want to give away too much of the story, because like I said, it is short. It was only a 3-hour listen, and I don't even think it was that, because I listened to it on 1.5. But the ending is a little bit, I don't know, just like kind of not confusing, but very vague, because it really doesn't answer anything. Because there's several questions, you know, as we're watching her, or, you know, going through her day with her and stuff, and there's just something, like, I don't know, it just was never really resolved, in my opinion. And it's like, yeah, I get it at the end, but also that doesn't really make sense if you are like, it almost seems like a plot hole. But it is what it is. Like I said, the only reason why I took off stars was because of the cat killings, and because of the ending. It was kind of, it wasn't super abrupt, but it was just wasn't very, like, conclusive. And then I also read, like I said, I'm a Fan. I am not a fan. I saw a lot of mixed reviews on this one, and I get it. The book was very digestible. It was, I would say this is more like a slice of life book, and I don't really like them. I keep finding myself reading them it's like while I'm reading it, it is somewhat compulsory. Like I do want to get to the end, but I think for me, if there's nothing accomplished in the book, then I'm left feeling like I wasted my time. And this book, from start to finish, is really just about one woman complaining the entire time. I did kind of go into it more, well, no, not kind of. I went into it more extensively on my Instagram. I do have a review and my thoughts about this book. And it's pretty brutally honest, because I'm really getting tired of this narrative of white people are bad. It's not an everybody thing, but that was the majority of this book. We kept coming back to how this woman she didn't deserve what she had because she was white, and she did this and that because she was white, and blah 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 because she's white, and her friends are white, and her dad is white, and her circle was white. I'm over it. Okay, if you're gonna offer something that's actually going to, contribute to the conversation around race, and be insightful, anything, that's one thing. Personally, I try to stay away from books that discuss race or really harp on racism and stuff like that, because we have enough of that in our day-to-day life. Everybody experiences it to an extent, and more people are experiencing it now that maybe haven't in the past. We are more aware of people experiencing things because of social media and people being recorded and stuff like that. This is something that has always existed. I feel like some cases are a little bit more prevalent now than they were. This is part of daily life, and it's a very unpleasant and ugly part of life. And I read to escape these things. I don't want to read about this. And I especially don't want to read about someone just complaining about how they're not white, about how somebody else doesn't deserve the things that they have because they're white. And this is coming from someone who, I'm sorry, I'm part Hawaiian. We are still, to this day, underrepresented because we are such a minority. And then when we are represented, it's very poor, or it's mashed together with all the other Polynesian people. And it's like, I get it. My people are still being oppressed to this day. We are still in a legally occupied territory that has been commandeered as a state. The United States government issued an apology and has done little else to reconcile this problem. I can go into it in a lot of depth, not only on my Hawaiian side, but on my Japanese side as well, of things and atrocities that have gone on. Okay, so I understand where she's coming from to an extent. What I don't understand is the constant badgering and blaming of somebody simply because, just like she didn't ask to be born with brown skin, nobody asked to be born with white skin. Why can we see for one but not the other? And we need to be very careful about calling one side racist and the other side isn't. If it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. Call it as it is. Everybody can be racist. It doesn't matter what your skin color is. It doesn't matter what your privilege is, what level of society you're in. You can be racist. The end. I really, that's a hill I'm willing to die on. I really don't care. I have experienced racism. I have seen my mother experience racism. I have seen my father experience racism. I have seen my friends experience racism. I have seen my husband experience racism. I'm sure my daughter will grow up to experience racism. The racism happens depending on who you are and what you look like. It's different for everybody. This book personifies and perpetuates that narrative. And I'm over it. So for me, it was a 3-star simply because there were times during the book where it was really funny and I was laughing, and there were times where it was super relatable and I totally got it. I completely understand what she was going through in the relationship and stuff, but all the bits about racism that were really just I'm not even talking about like her experiencing racism. I'm talking about her talking about this woman that she is obsessed with because she's sleeping with the man that she's sleeping with, who's also married. Talking about her as if she has done something so terrible to society by being white. No, it's not it for me, sis. Will not be reading anything further from this author if that's what we're going to focus on. And also if it's just slice of life reading, because that's just not, it's not for me. I accidentally end up reading these books that are slice of life, and they always inevitably do not get better than a 3-star. Sometimes they're 2 or 1 star, or I just DNF it. Like I said, I went more in detail on my Instagram. Please check that out if you are curious. I don't really want to get into it too heavily here. It's just, I read for fun. I read to have a good time. I read to not have to deal with the terrible things that are going on in the world. And the world is really horrific right now, so even more so, I'm not interested in bringing in these real world issues into something that I am trying to enjoy and escape said issues. So it is what it is. 3-star. The writing wasn't terrible by any means. Like I said, there were some funny parts, there was some relatability, but I couldn't get on board with the blatant racism. The other book, I think I ended up DNFing it in August or September. I don't really remember, but I think it's called Dinosaurs. I might have got like 20% of the way into this one, and I just couldn't do it anymore. I just finished One of Our Own by Lucinda Berry. Again, it was another 3-star for me. I thought it was good. There wasn't anything wrong with it per se. It just wasn't like this amazing book. It's pretty strong with like suicide and assault and self-harm and stuff, so there are some heavy topics in this one, and I feel like the way the book handled it, the way the author handled it, was good for what we're dealing with. The pacing was great. I thought the pace of the book was just, it was very compulsory. I definitely wanted to keep listening. I finished the book in one day, just in a few hours. I think it only took me about like 2 hours or so. It was really good. My only thing, and it was such a big thing for me that I ended up, only giving it the 3 stars, was that I was able to predict pretty much the entire ending. Like what the twist was, what was going to happen, how they were going to figure it out, how they were going to handle him. And for me, and it wasn't just that I was able to predict it, but I was able to predict it from like the first 15% of the book. I think it was like around the 11% mark, but it was so early on that I was just like, oh, it's this guy, and that's how they're going to find him out, and this is what's going to happen, they're going to do this, and blah, blah. And then it was like pretty much everything I was thinking, like I could have written this book. So I think for this one, if you don't read a lot of thriller or you're new to thrillers, this would be great, because it could be that it's just like a formula I've seen before, and so I'm really able to predict it. And this is coming from someone who almost can never predict things. Like I might predict one part of the twist or a reveal or the story, but usually I can't predict most of it, and I definitely don't predict it like within the first 15% of the book. Usually I have to get to at least the between 40 to 60 mark before I'm like, oh wait, this, and this. And that just wasn't the case. So because of that, I really dinged it heavily for the star rating. But yeah, I would recommend this to, first of all, anybody who wants to have a quick listen at a good thriller. Bottom line, because I did enjoy my time with it. I don't regret reading it. I just wish that I wasn't able to predict it so easily. I would also recommend this to anyone who does not really read thrillers. and or is new to reading thrillers, like is just getting started in reading thrillers, because I think this would be a great book for those people. So those are the books that I managed to get read. Right now I am listening to The Har by David Sodergren. And I think I am going to be uploading soon, maybe a little book haul, because I did get a few things in August and September. I just have to remember which books they were, because I've, of course, already put them away. And I also want to upload maybe just an autumnal TBR, because I missed I think I didn't upload anything for September. No August wrap up, no September TBR or anything. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do an autumnal TBR, and then I'm going to wrap up my autumn reads. I think I'll do that either at the end of this month or maybe mid-November, just because I know December is going to be a little bit more of crunch time once we get towards the middle of November. The time I don't know where it goes, but it just seems to get away from me every year. So I want to make sure that I've got all that stuff wrapped up for you guys ahead of time. I don't plan on taking any more time off, but the holiday season is always really busy for us. I'm usually doing a lot of crafts and extra stuff, and I don't always think to vlog, and I just may not have the time to sit down and have a sit down video and talk to the camera and upload that. I just don't know what the next couple months are going to look like for us. We have a lot of changes happening, a lot of adjustment. This is a huge adjustment period for us. So just please bear with me as we go through these next few months. If the uploads aren't regular, I know I was doing every Monday consistently. I'm still going to keep Monday as my day for uploading. I'm still going to try and do Wednesday to Wednesday for vlogs. I haven't yet decided, but this vlog might only go Wednesday to Sunday, just so I can get this uploaded if I end up not having time to film any more sit-down videos. But I do have quite a few things I'm hoping to accomplish this month. I did my official Goodreads goal is set for 24, and I have smashed that. I think I smashed that in June or July, maybe even May. I don't quite remember. But honestly, when I set that, I thought I was going to struggle to get that. I'm now on book number 57. So my secret challenge is to read 75 books this year. I am a little bit less than 20 books away from that with the last quarter of the year to go. So I'm really hoping I can hit that 75. That'll be the most books I've ever read in a year that I can remember. So I'm really excited to hit that goal. Hopefully we can get there. But yeah, I really want to get back on track. I have missed talking to you guys. I have missed being, active and filming videos. I really do enjoy talking about books. I really do enjoy reading books, and all I've wanted to do is read, but sometimes life just gets in the way. Your mental health just gets in the way and just will not allow you to be great sometimes. It's okay. We all have our season of needing to take a break, to rest. And I think for me, summer, especially peak summer, which for us here in Florida, the hottest month of the year is usually September. And then in October, it starts to cool off. So I think I'm just one of those people that the summer is just not it. There's some people who get the seasonal depression. That's me, but in the summer. I don't want to go outside. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to be part of the world. Nothing all summer long. Once we get into autumn and the cooler weather, all the way up until the early days of spring, I am the happiest. I am always, wanting to be outside and go do stuff and just be cheery. But during the summer, it's just not it for me. I would say probably after the first quarter of spring, up until October, maybe even mid-October to Halloween. It's just, it's so hot. It's so unpleasant. But I did receive some book boxes since I've been not uploading on here. I was able to sign up for the Afterlight box, which is Illumicrate's romance box. And I did receive my first book. It is the Breakup Pacts, and this is by Emma Lord. It's beautiful. The edges are really cute. It's just got the design here, and then on the top and bottom, they're just like this mint green. I like the cover. I like this cover way more than I like the original cover. My only thing is I feel like this book is super small. Maybe I just haven't bought a romance book in a long time, like especially not a hardback, and I have no idea what I'm talking about. The naked hardcover looks like this. So it's just like a beachside venue. It's really cute. The inside is cute. The way it's got this. I think it's a cute book, and I hadn't realized that I actually had requested this book as an ARC on NetGalley, but still working on my NetGalley score, so, you know, it's not the best. I didn't get the audiobook. It's okay, though, because the book's out now. I have it, and I am waiting for the audiobook from my library. It's obviously not a priority because this seems more like a spring-summer book, and it's a romance, and right now priority for me is reading all the spooky, terrifying, creepy gothic books I can, and I have a ton of them to get through. I also received a couple of my Illumicrate boxes. One I have opened and like looked through, but I haven't even taken the plastic off of the book yet, mainly because I think I want to film something, film a reel or something. I don't know, maybe I'll just show you guys here. But I have received a few other books. I received Mistress of Lies, which is absolutely stunning. The Castle of the Cursed from Owlcrate which was a gorgeous book. I think I did talk to you guys about that one. And then I can't remember right now what the September book was for the Illumicrate book. I also received a few books from the Moon book box that I had subscribed to, which I think going forward, I'm not sure if I'm going to continue with them. The books are beautiful, don't get me wrong. I do like the books, but I think they're all, well, they are, I believe, indie published books, so it's a little bit harder for me to get my hands on a audiobook for them, which normally wouldn't be a problem, but I would say 95% of my reading through audiobooks right now, either in tandem with the physical book or audio on its own. It's just easier for me when I'm going throughout my day, moving around and, you know, doing chores, cooking dinner, whatever I'm doing. I have my phone and I can listen to my audiobook wherever I am. Whereas my physical book, I don't always have the time to just sit down and stop everything I'm doing and read a book. So, you know, that's just the life we're living here, and I'm not going to stop reading, so we got to accommodate. But the books are beautiful. They are just stunning, like the way these books have been done, and they're all printed on the hardcover. They're not, there's no, like how these have the jackets. They're just hardcover, and they are just stunning. Let me go get a few of them. Okay, so the first book I got from them was Threaded. This book is just stunning in my opinion. And like I said, this is just it's just on the hardcover. It's a gorgeous book. And it's from the Moonlight book box. And these are the end pages. And I think this one even has this like layover that I'm obsessed with. I just think it's just freaking cute. I'm really impressed. This was the first book I got from them, and I was really impressed with it. The second book is The Unmarked Witch, and it is just as stunning. Like, this book is freaking gorgeous. And this is what the inside looks like. Chapters. I don't know, this book is just stunning. And then, like I said, I got Mistress of Lies from Illumicrate as well. And it's a little bit of a different colorway from the regular book, but the edges. So the top and bottom are just black, but the side, it's so beautiful. And then my favorite part, the naked hardcover. This is a stunning book. It's gorgeous. I think this is going to be part of a series. But here we have the end papers. Just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I don't even like vampire books, and I want to read this book. So I think that's all I have for you guys right now. I'm going to continue listening to the horror. I'm more than halfway through with it, so I'm hoping to get that finished. It's got to go back to the library pretty soon, so I want to get that finished today. And yes, I'll probably check back in with you guys later on today. It's still pretty early. And hopefully I will have either finished it or be pretty good. Right now, it's like I know what's going on, but I don't know what my feelings are about this book. Because it's so bizarre. I don't think I've ever read anything like this one before. Nothing's coming to mind if I have. And it's like, in the beginning, I was just thinking to myself, how is this going to be a horror story? Like, where are we going to go with this, that it's going to be horror? So I'm glad I hung in there, because at first I was kind of thinking I might DNF it, I'm not going to lie. But now I definitely, like, it's just so bizarre. It's so bizarre. And I know a lot of people have read this book and love it. And I'm not hating it. I just don't know what my feelings are about it right now. So hopefully I'll at least have read a little bit more when I next check in with you guys. And I'll be able to maybe give you some thoughts, like actually have an opinion about it. So, yeah, I'll see you guys when I have something else to update. Okay. I just finished the horror. I gave it 3 stars. That could change, but my initial rating is 3 stars. I just don't know how to feel about it. Like, I liked a lot of it. It was a little bit slow, I felt like, a little bit lengthy to get through. I liked that, like, the people that were bad, quote unquote, get taken care of. I like how the situation resolved. I don't know how to feel about this book. Yeah, so we're gonna move on from it now. Like I said, I gave it 3 stars. It was a little bit slow. I knew it wasn't gonna be a 5-star read for me. But yeah, we're gonna leave it at a 3-star for now. Maybe by the time I do my wrap up, I'll have changed my mind. I'll have a little bit more to say about it. I don't know. I need to think on it for a little while. I'm thinking of either going for The Stranger Upstairs, which I know is a pretty quick read, or the Dog That Disappeared at Night or something. I'm not sure. That's been on my list for a while, even though neither of those are on my TBR. Let's just read them anyway, because that's what I feel like reading. So I'll come and update you with whichever book I end up deciding to start. So it's 3 o'clock, just about. I didn't get much reading done today. I've really just been kind of doing some chores and catching up on some YouTube videos, enjoying like just a slow day. It's kind of been raining off and on, so it's been really nice. I did get to about the 20% mark in, what is this book called? The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. So I think I called this book like The Dog That Disappeared at Night or something. I don't remember. But in any event, I did get to about 20%. So far, I think the book is pretty good. I'm enjoying the writing. We've got a little mystery going on. I was a little bit confused because the book starts on chapter 2. And I showed you in the in some clips when I was reading where I come across his explanation about that, about how every chapter is prime numbers, because like it goes from chapter 2 to chapter 3, I think, right? It skips around. It's not in order. Yeah, it's chapter 2, chapter 3, and then chapter 7, and so on and so forth. And he talks about that he really likes prime numbers. And that's also listed on the back about he knows. So it says Christopher John Francis Boone knows all the countries of the world and their capitals and every prime number up to 7,057. So that is something that he discusses. And basically the book starts off with this dog dying. I don't think that's a spoiler because it's literally like the first page of the book. And from there, the situation escalates and like he ends up getting arrested. I mean, it's completely a misunderstanding because he's obviously like a special needs or someone who's on the spectrum. Not to mention he's also a 15-year-old. So, you know, it's very much like, it was the whole incident with the dog and the police and everything was very much a misunderstanding. And I, even just in the beginning of the book, I was already kind of like getting like emotionally invested or whatever, because it's like, come on, what are you doing? Like, it's very clear that, why are you arresting this kid? So anyway, needless to say, I'm getting really into it. Yesterday before I stopped listening to it, I was really sucked into it. I personally think it's good. I'm listening to the book on audio as well as reading along, which is great because it does have, like I showed you guys, it does have lots of different like little diagrams and stuff. So here's a diagram. This is like their area because he's trying to figure out who killed the dog. he has decided that somebody must have killed the dog, and he goes through all these different like, it's very interesting because we're definitely very much in his head, and it's such an interesting way to go about this story. I don't know, just something about it is just really speaking to me. I'm really enjoying it. I do feel a little bit like we're almost getting a story written by Stewie Griffin, but just in like the tone, the way of the speaking, like the organization of words and stuff. But regardless of that, I'm really enjoying this book. It's probably going to take me until tomorrow to finish it, if not Friday evening into Saturday. I'm not sure. Just depends on how much time I have the next couple of days and throughout the weekend. But so far, I just wanted to come in and check in and say that I am really loving this book, and I'm expecting it to be at least a 4-star, but hopefully I'm not getting my hopes up. So other than that, I don't have anything else right now, and I'll check back in when I have more to update you on. Good morning, guys. Well, it's like afternoon now, but I just wanted to come up here and update. So I am still working on, I can never remember what this book is called. The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. I haven't picked this up since, not was it yesterday? No, I think it was the day before yesterday. I don't think I read any of it yesterday. But what I did was I did finish a book on Amazon, because I just recently, like within the last few months, found out that if you have Prime, there's some books that you can read for free. And they're actually like, they're audiobooks where you can follow along, which is great. I love reading in tandem, a physical book and an audiobook, so this was great. And the book I finished last night was The Doll's House by Lisa Unger. It was a really quick one. It was a very short story. I think it was like less than 3 hours. It was actually really good. Like, gave me a little bit of the creeps, just a little bit. I feel like there could have been more. I feel like it could have been spookier, could have been creepier. I was expecting a little bit more. But I think I gave it 4 stars, 3 or 4 stars. But yeah, I don't really have too much to say about it, honestly, because it was so short. There isn't even that much I can tell you without giving it away. It's about this woman and her daughter. They go and live with this guy. I think she married him. I'm not sure. I don't really remember that part. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be her new husband, and they're going to live in his house, and he has like this super fancy house with like AI in the house. It was giving me iRobot. Like, I don't know if you guys remember that movie, but Vicky from A Robot.
You are making a mistake. My logic is undeniable.
You have so got to die.
Like, that's the vibes I was getting. And from there, it's like everything's cool at first, and then of course, you know, we get to the middle and the end of the story, and it's just like, wow, I mean, it's like you go into it knowing that there's something wrong that's gonna happen, right? But you just don't know exactly what to expect. And that I was really just having a moment there. But yeah, we find out that I don't know, like there was some revelations or some things revealed in the latter half of the book, and I was like, oh, that's so like sad. Like, I'm sad for the daughter. I'm sad for the mom too, but I'm sad for the daughter. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. It was a quick read. Not much to say about it, honestly. So, but I just wanted to come on here, update you to say that, yep, I finished the book last night. I think I'm getting out of my slump, which I'm really happy about, and that I am still going to be reading this. I'm hoping to finish this over the weekend. I don't know. The weekends are always hit or miss for reading, so we shall see. But I definitely want to get at least more into the book because I am really enjoying what I've read so far. So that's all I have for right now. Hopefully I will be updating you guys a little bit later on in the day with some kind of progress. But if not, and I do end up deciding to extend this video, I will probably see you guys on Monday or through the weekend. If not, I'll come on here and end the vlog. But yeah, so I will see you guys again when I've got something to talk about. Hey guys, it is Monday and I am just coming in here to wrap up the vlog. Hopefully I can get this posted today so that there is a Monday video. I actually did get a good bit of reading. Sorry, there's no b-roll, there's no check-ins from the weekend, but it was just kind of like a laid-back weekend. We were just enjoying our time as a family. But I did get some reading done. I've actually read quite a few books since we last spoke. Now, granted, most of them are just some Amazon short stories, so I'm counting them as books because Goodreads is counting them as books, but I feel like in ordinary situations, these would all be like maybe part of one book. I know some of them are part of a series on Amazon, like they have the Hush series and like a bunch of different books. I think there's one called Creature Feature. I think I talked about this already, but I recently discovered that if you have Amazon Prime, there's books that you can listen to and read for free. And of course, any way I cannot read what's on my TBR, apparently, is what I'm doing this month. So I did read about 9 books or short stories. And actually most of them were pretty good. So I read a couple from Lisa Unger, The Doll's House and The Sleep Tight Motel. Sleep Tight Motel got 4 stars from me. The Doll's House got 3. Most of these I would say were 3 stars. They weren't bad, but they just didn't like, and I get it, they're short, but some of them, even though they're short, it really like packed a punch, and other ones was just kind of like leaving me wanting more. So, The Doll's House, I did expect it to be a little bit more creepy than it ended up being, so I was a little bit disappointed by that. I think I talked about that in my last update. But I also read The Sleep Tight Motel by her, and I thought that was a great one. I definitely didn't expect the ending, like what gets revealed in the end. Again, I don't want to go too much into even the synopsis of these because they are so short. If I give you the synopsis, it's like giving away everything. But yeah, my only thing with that one was there's definitely like some plot holes if that's the case, because like I don't know how we could explain that, and there is no explanation because it's such a short book, so it is what it is, but I still gave that one a 4 star. I also read My Evil Mother and Cut and Thirst by Margaret Atwood. I have been interested in reading The Handmaid's Tale by her, so I was happy to see that there were some short stories by her on here so I could kind of get a feel for her writing. And I actually really enjoyed My Evil Mother. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was pretty interesting. I like that the mom was kind of like witchy and stuff, and the way her daughter grows up and like what happens in the end was actually kind of funny. But I did not like Cut and Thirst. This book was short and I could not pay attention to it. Like I tried. I should have just DNF'd it, but I tried to push through it. It gets a 2 stars from me. I can't even really tell you what this book is about. That's how like I just wanted it to be over. Then I read The Lover by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, which I'm super stoked about because on my TBR this month is Mexican Gothic. I read The Lover and loved it. It was a 5-star read for me. I loved the ending. I loved, like, I don't know, something about the way she wrote the characters were very relatable, and like I was pretty wrapped up in this story. And it was like the ending was just like the cherry on top. It was great. I loved the writing. I loved the pacing. Even though it was a short story, I was still like, what? Like, and I did want more. Like, I could see this being like stretch over a whole book, but I think this was a great length for this book. It was impactful. And yeah, there wasn't a ton of explanation about other things going on, but it didn't take anything away from the story either for those explanations to not be there. Then I read Slow Burner by Laura Lipman. And this was another one. I gave it 4 stars. It just wasn't at the 5-star level. But this was, I thought, very intriguing. I gobbled this up in just like like an hour or so. Just listening to it while I was doing some other things. And I said it in my review. The best thing I can say is this is a cautionary tale to cheating men everywhere. Like, it's like a good for her story. Really liked it, would highly recommend it. And I also read It Waits in the Woods by Josh Mallerman. Now, this is my second Josh Mallerman. I read The Lake House, or whatever that story is called. It's like The House at the Bottom of the Lake or something like that. And I didn't care for that one. I didn't really care for this one either. I did give it a 3-star because there were points in this story where, and of course I'm listening to it on audio, so you're getting the effects and stuff, and it's basically the girl's sister goes missing and everyone kind of gives up looking for her. She's been missing for some time and they all blame the sister, and the sister goes looking for her. That's all I can really tell you without giving anything else away. But it's bizarre, it's creepy, but it just wasn't enough. Like, I felt like there was so much more that could have been achieved, even in a short story, and it was lacking that for me. And then the last 2 stories, The Bad Friend by Carol, is it Nepps? The same author as You, which again is another series that I really wanted to get into because I do actually like the TV series or the Netflix adaptation. So I did want to read the book, but I'm not sure if I will now because I don't really care for her writing style. It's just based on this short story. It's a lot of, I don't know, there's a lot of repetition, a lot of drawn out things. In this one, like I said, the book is called The Bad Friend, and my only takeaway that she's a bad friend because of something she didn't know. Like, I don't understand why. I don't know who's supposed to be the bad friend. I'm assuming it's our main character, but it wasn't good. It wasn't good. Like, I mean, okay, yeah, there was a twist, something I didn't expect and I didn't see coming, but I just, like, the amount of guilt and then hatred that this main character feels towards her husband, the guilt she feels for herself, it's so unwarranted. Not to discount what happens in the book, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. It's definitely a rock and a hard place, but at the same time, people have a past and we don't always get to know what their past is. And also people change and grow and evolve, and who are we to hold them accountable for something that happened previously, first of all, that we don't even know about. And now all of a sudden, because we know this one thing about somebody who has never exhibited any of these things since, we're supposed to think differently of them. I don't know. I mean, sure, there are some things that are unforgivable, and I guess this could be one of them, but at the same time, you have to see it from both sides. So I don't know. This story, it just seemed really stupid to me. I don't want to talk about it too much because, like I said, these are such short stories that talking about it, like what's actually going on in the story with any length, is going to give it away. So I'll just leave it to you. You read it and you let me know what you think. And the last book that I read is In the Tall Grass by Stephen King, and I did give this one a 4-star. I feel like with Stephen King, I'm never giving him less than, I don't think I've ever given anything less than a 4-star. I never know what to expect. The only reason why for me this wasn't a 5-star is because I was expecting, or I was hoping, I should say, a little bit scarier story, and this was very creepy. It was bizarre. It was visceral. It made me feel a lot of emotions, but it wasn't scary. I don't know. I was hoping to get scared, because the other short stories, I'm trying to consume a lot of horror and thrillers and stuff, and just like get that creep vibe. And we almost got there with It Waits in the Woods. Like there was a few moments of just like, ooh, but then it just fizzled out and it doesn't go anywhere. And this one too, I feel like there could have been more like of a scare factor, but he just didn't go in that way. It was still very well written. I enjoyed listening to the audiobook. I have no other real complaints aside from that. I did not care for the very, very graphic scene that happens in the grass. Like, I'm just gonna leave it at that because again, I don't want to give away too much and spoil it. I am probably about most of the way through The Curious Incident of the Dog at Nighttime, or In the Nighttime, whatever. I am currently on page 126, and there's about 220 pages in this book, so I'm most of the way through it. I'm still enjoying it. We just found out 2 huge things, and I'm like, my flabbers are gasted, like, oh my god. So very curious to see how this book wraps up, but that is going to be, I'm gonna conclude that in the next vlog, I guess, because I do, like I said, I want to get this one wrapped up. This clip is already almost 13 minutes long. Why? I do want to get this one wrapped up. I've already got most of it edited, thankfully. Like, thank you so much to Past Me, because she was really looking out, really trying to make sure I get this video up today. So yeah, that's all I've got for you. I don't know how many books I have read over this vlog. I want to say it's at least 10 or 11. Maybe even 12. I'm not sure. I know it's at least 10 because I remember telling you guys I was reading The Horror. And I also read one of our own. So that's at least 11. So it could be even more than that. So it looks like I'm fully out of the reading slump. Those little books, those short stories have really helped me. That I'm super grateful about that. And I'm hoping I can really blast through what I've got already, what's on my TBR, although it's looking like I'm not gonna get to a whole lot on my TBR because why would I do that? Why would I allow myself to be great when I can read everything else except for what's on my TBR? Anyway, I didn't get around to filming any kind of sit-down videos this weekend. Hopefully we can do that. We do have a hurricane coming this week, so might have a little bit of time to do so. Other than that, I think that's all I have for you guys today. Appreciate you coming along with me on this week's vlog. I know it wasn't super interesting aside from me reading books. Shocker. But, you know, it is what it is. This is my life. I just want to talk about the books and bookish things and just chat with you guys about books. So I hope you enjoyed this week. Hopefully I will have some more content coming up for you guys very soon. If not, it'll be another vlog. Hopefully me blasting through a whole bunch more books. I do want to take part in Becca's Spookopoly-thon. I think I might do that either this week or next week. And I think what I'm going to do is just do it for the whole week. And that's how I'm going to choose what I'm reading that week. But yeah, so I will see you guys in my next video. Leave a comment if you feel like it. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Consider subscribing if you want to. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.